How to deal with information overload. These days, there's so much information available out there. I mean, YouTube, Facebook, Google, email. It's very easy to get overwhelmed with all this information. But there is a simple 3-step system that can help you with information overload, and that's what we are going to talk about right now. You see, these days it's so easy to get overwhelmed with information. If you think back in the days, we walked into a library. I remember my first trading books that I read in a library. But now we do have Google, YouTube, Facebook, email, Instagram. And doesn't it sometimes feel that there is simply too much information? So how can you sift through this? Because there's one problem. When you have too much information, you can experience what I call analysis paralysis, meaning that you don't know what to do because you have so much things to analyze. So let me give you a very simple 3-step system on how you can cut through the clutter and really get rid of information overload once and for all. Step number 1, define what information do you actually need. Where is the gap? For example, if you say, hey, I want to make money while I sleep. You know me, the 3 ways to do this is either trading stocks and options or investing in real estate or running a business that does run without you. Now, I must honestly say I haven't figured out how to run a business that runs without me. So let's talk about these 2, trading stocks and options or real estate. So which one of these 2 do you want to do, right? I mean, obviously you're here, you're listening to me, so probably trading is what you want to do. If that's the case, for now, focus on this and just stop looking at investing in real estate. Now, when it comes to trading, again, you can break it down into 3 main parts. First, what to trade. So if you already know what you want to trade, if you want to trade stocks, don't look at any cryptocurrency techniques, right? So number 2 is when to enter. And if you already mastered this, don't worry about it. The third thing is when to exit. But again, step number 1 here in how to deal with information overload is what information do you really need? If you need all of this information, start with step number 1, what to trade. So this is where, for me personally, it helps to break down everything in chunks of 3. You see that this is here a 3-step system on how to deal with information overload. There's 3 ways on how to make money while you sleep, right? And there's 3 major things that you need to know when trading. You see, this is what makes it easy for me. Based on this, go out and find the information that you need. Really think about it like going into the library. What section are you going into? Are you going into the trading section or are you going into the real estate section? Once you decide to go with trading, stick with it. And don't worry about what other things you see because the grass is always greener on the other side. Once you know what information you want, step number 2 is this actually applicable to me? Can I personally do it? Let me give you an example. As you know, I'm also invested in real estate. When I got started investing in real estate, this was in 2006. And yes, I heard about buying multi-family units. In 2006, I just started my trading career. As you know, in 2003, my trading finally turned profitable. I did have some money, but not enough money to invest in multi-family units. 3 years ago, I did buy apartment complexes and they cost like $5.2 million. When you buy apartment complex, you have to bring 20% of the purchase price in cash to the table. So this was a little bit over $1 million. 3 years ago, that wasn't a problem at all for me to afford. But many years back, in the beginning, when I started building my wealth, it was impossible. So what was applicable to me then in 2006 was buying single family homes. Just keep this in mind. Is this applicable to me? Another example from trading If right now you have a job, you probably cannot day trade yet. Depending on the time zone, you might or might not. But if you live on the East Coast and you have to work from 9 to 5 and the market's open at 9:30, you can't day trade. So for now, set day trading aside, focus on swing trading, and then as you become more successful, you add other information in. There's so many things that you can do, but you have to find what works for you. The third thing is ask yourself the questions, will I do it? Let me give you a very personal example. If you have been listening to my personal podcast, you know that a few episodes ago, I said that I'm pretty unhappy about my weight. I'm right now 224 pounds, and I was never that heavy. I want to do something about it, but I can tell you right now, 3 hours working out per day doesn't work for me. Again, we are at step number 3, will I do it? So I can seek information on how to lose a few pounds, and if it would say, all you need to do is work out 3 hours a day, I'll never do it. So why would I even bother with this type of information? If I know my gap, what do I need to know, right? I need to know how I can create a calorie deficit. And for me, the applicable thing would be intermittent fasting because I can easily do it. I'm not a big breakfast eater. Just to give you a really quick breakdown one more time, about the 3 steps that you can apply in order to reduce information overload is number 1, what information do I need? Number 2, is this applicable to me? Can I actually do this? And step number 3, will I do it? So these are the 3 steps that should help you to cut through all this information overload. This is at least the 3-step approach that I personally use to make sure that I'm not getting overwhelmed by information, because when you are overwhelmed by information, what will happen? Analysis paralysis, meaning that you don't do anything. Is this helpful? Just to give you a few tips. If so, leave a comment and let me know if this makes sense to you. I would really appreciate any comments and saying, yeah, great, I'm doing it already, or no, I'll try it. That's fantastic too. Please hit the like button, subscribe to it, and as always, share it with somebody who you believe that might find this information helpful.
Click on like and leave a comment and let me know what you think. And make sure to subscribe to this channel to get new videos automatically.